Just when you thought hot hatches couldn't get any hotter, Toyota says, watch this, and released a 2023 Toyota Corolla GR. This is no ordinary Corolla. It certainly doesn't look like one. It's much wider, sits lower to the ground. It's a hatchback. Also comes with all-wheel drive. Comes with 300 horses under the hood. That's made it to a 6-speed manual. This was created to compete head-on with the Civic Type R and the Volkswagen Golf R. So, did Toyota create a winner? Let's find out. Since I don't live by a racetrack or any track of any means, well, I'm just having a little fun here in the parking lot with the traction control off and the power distribution towards the rear wheels. This Corolla GR is so much fun to throw around. It is so nice, so much control, and you never really feel like you don't have enough grip, enough traction. It is a really fun car. Normally, I start these reviews talking about the outside. No, I'm gonna start this one talking about the drive. I had the Corolla for about a week now, and I've been having a blast. I've recently tested all the manual versions of the sports cars from Toyota. And I just got done testing GR86. Then I tested the more powerful Supra. And now I'm testing the Corolla GR, which is like right in between, if you think about it. The GR86 comes with around 220 horsepower, which is plenty for that 2+2 coupe. The Supra comes with 380-ish, but really like 400 horsepower. And that one is also a coupe. This one is not a coupe. This is a hatchback, a 4-door hatchback, and it comes with 300 horsepower. So as you can see, like right in the middle. Now, one of the most amazing things about this Corolla GR, of course, is the engine. And right now, driving around town, around everywhere, it's more than adequate. And yes, I did do a couple launches, and yes, I did probably speed in areas I shouldn't have, but it's a beautiful engine. This is definitely not as fast as a Toyota Supra, in case you're wondering. I mean, of course, on paper, you could tell already because this is 300 horsepower, but I was going to say, this is 300 horsepower generated from a 1.6 liter 3-cylinder engine. 3-cylinder. It's not even a 4-cylinder. It's producing 300 horsepower from 1.6 liters. Take a second to think about that. And torque is up there too, over 270 pound-feet of torque. Now the torque does take a while. Peak torque comes in around 3,000 RPM, so a little bit higher than some of the other turbocharged engines. But here's the thing, at no time during the drives did I feel like there was turbo lag or anything of the sort. Instant power in every gear. It's really quite amazing that Toyota was able to develop this engine and stuff it in a Corolla, and then of course paired it to an all-wheel drive system that you can actually control the power distribution. Yes, there are 3 different levels you can select. The basic one is the stock trim, and that is just 60-40 distribution. So most of the power, 60% up front, 40% in the rear, right? So for daily driving, this is more than adequate. But if you wanted to have a little bit more fun, you wanted the rear to maybe slide out a little bit, like I did at the beginning of this video, well, then you could change it so that the power is 30% up front and 70 in the rear, okay? However, if you wanted maximum traction, right, you're going on a track, well, you could press that button and then you go into track mode, which distributes the power evenly, 50 up front, 50 in the rear, right? So one of the reasons why this Corolla is so amazing and different from a regular Corolla, and different from some of the competition. Keep in mind the Civic Type R is still front-wheel drive only. So big difference between all-wheel drive and front-wheel drive, especially in terms of track times and how it feels on the road. And here's something else that's different about this Corolla GR. Even though it's a 6-speed, and I said I tested the GR86 and the Supra, both are 6 speeds, this 6-speed is different. The gearing is different. The gears are so close to each other it's a different experience. It forces you to shift a lot more than you're used to, especially going from second to third. First gear, you redline it super fast, and then you shift into second, you realize that the RPM didn't really drop at all. You need to shift into third right away. The gear ratios are so close, but I think Toyota did that on purpose to make sure that you're in the power band, your revs are high no matter what gear you're in. So it's actually quite different. It feels different than a GR86 and feels very different than the Supra. See, red line already. I believe you have to shift to third before you hit 60. I think that's how Toyota geared this. But as for the shifter itself, the knob feels good, a nice leather knob, but the shifter is pretty smooth. It's smoother than the Supras, for sure. It's about as smooth as a GR86, but I would say, maybe not as smooth as a Civic Type R, at least the old generation. I have not tested the new one. We'll see, but it's pretty close. Bottom line is this: it's very easy to shift, very little effort. If this is your first time learning how to drive a 6-speed manual, no problems. It's really, really simple. I mean, same thing with the clutch pedal. Clutch pedal, you know, with every car, the clutch pedal, the catch point is a little bit different, but I picked it up really quick. It's very similar to the one, again, in the GR86, but different than the Supra. You know, the Supra is just different. I prefer the Corolla GR and the GR86. I prefer how they feel. I like the clutch. I think the engagement point is just right. It takes a little getting used to, but it's nice. It's not too harsh. Doesn't make your left foot ache after you drive a while, right? And the shifter is nice. I like it. I like it a lot. As for steering, I like the steering as well. It's not the most weighted steering, which is surprising. I'm going to shift to sport mode and see if it makes a difference. When I shifted to sport mode, the gauge cluster, digital gauge cluster did change. The rev meter changed, right? But the steering still feels light. It doesn't have a heavy weight to it, so that's a little disappointing. I would have preferred a heavier weight, but I will say this: super, super precise. You can see it in the camera right now. Just a little bit, I feel it on the road here. I could feel the Corolla move. So super, super precise steering. That's fantastic. Just wish it was a little bit heavier, just a little bit heavier. But the steering wheel itself, nice. It's a GR steering wheel, a GR symbol. You have red stitching. The leather feels good. My preference would have been to add a little more thickness to this steering wheel. I love BMW M steering wheels, and I know that that's BMW M steering wheels and no one else really has it. But you know, these other manufacturers, they can learn from BMW. If you made your steering wheel a little bit thicker, more beefier, I think people would enjoy that. Just listen to that. Oh my God. Again, hit the rev limiter a little bit too quick. All right, guys, slow down. This is what's going to happen if you end up buying this car, is at every moment where you have a little bit of straightaway, you're just going to want to put your foot down and have some fun, bang the gears, right? And listen to the exhaust and just enjoy it, right? You just enjoy the drive. This car, the best way to describe it is, it's not a fast car, okay? 300 horsepower, okay, but 0 to 60, about 4.9 seconds. You know, it's not that fast. In today's terms, it's not fast at all. Maybe 20 years ago, this is really fast. But today, there's plenty of cars that's faster, but that's not the point. Can you find another car that is as fun as this one? Well, I'd say there's very little. There's very little cars out there, especially in this price range, which I'll get to in a little bit. But overall, this is just a fun car. It's a really fun car. Now, I haven't talked about suspension yet. Suspension is also absolutely fantastic. This one comes with 18-inch wheels, tires a little bit small. This Corolla GR sits low to the ground. It's very wide. It has a really nice presence. I love the way this GR looks. It has a nice presence all around. But the suspension, even though it's geared towards track, being sporty, I don't feel uncomfortable at all around town. It's actually really nice. All the potholes, all the dips and imperfections that I test all my cars with, feels good. It feels normal. Also, comfort level inside, I think a lot of it has to do with these amazing seats. These seats look absolutely amazing. I love the look. I love how on the headrest you have that GR logo, right? But it's a really nice look. You have red stitching and red accent right in their seat back, combination of leather and suede. They're holding me in very nice. They're not too aggressive. I'm a fairly big guy and I still fit, and it's really nice holding me in. The only downside to these seats are they get hot. Like, they hold me in beautifully, but I'm sweating right now. I'm really sweating, and too bad there's no ventilated seats inside here. Not an option, but you do get heated seats if you opt for it. There are a few essential options that I'll get to in a little bit, but the seats are absolutely beautiful. I love the front seats. And here's the thing about the seats. Yes, you have 4 of them, and yes, you could actually haul 4 people. Unlike those other cars I've tested from Toyota, you can't fit anyone in the back. This one, you can. Because it's a hatchback, plenty of headroom, front and back. When you're getting in and out, so easy. So easy. It's a world of difference between getting in and out of this Corolla GR versus a Supra and versus a GR86. So getting in and out is so much easier. You actually have 2 usable doors in the back, even though they don't open very far, but I'm 5'10" and I still fit. I have about 1 to 2 inches of leg room behind my driving position, about 2 to 3 inches of headroom. So hauling adults back there, unless they're giants, yeah, it works and it fits, right? So that makes this GR Corolla also special because it's actually usable as a daily driver. You don't have to just treat this as a weekend car. You could drive this every day and haul people around, haul your kids around, right? And because it's a hatchback, look at the trunk space. Not the greatest amount of trunk space, but it's a hatchback. It's more than a normal trunk. And of course, you could fold down the second row and get even more. And you could fit a bike back there, large luggage, no problem. That's what's also great about this Corolla GR, is actually very practical for everyday use. So what about the looks? Well, of course, GR Corolla has to look different, can't look vanilla like a normal Corolla, and it certainly doesn't. The front end obviously has Corolla cues, but the bumper, the mouth area, much bigger. You see that GR logo as well. You also notice it on the hood. It bulges out, and there's a couple of vents up there, functional vents. They do actually let out hot air. They're not just for show. And of course, on the side, you see the fenders bulge out, and you also see a little bit more vents on the side. Again, functional, letting air out of the wheel well, right? So you actually have functional vents all around, but the presence of it just so different. It's so wide because Toyota stretched it out. The fenders up front, and especially the hips are super, super wide. Love the way the rear end looks. And you have very unique tri-exhaust setup, which is really unique. It kind of looks weird because the middle one is so wide, but you have a tri-exhaust setup. So the rear end definitely pops out. The side view also pops out. You have that hot hatch look, right? And of course, you can't have a hot hatch without a very outrageous wing in the back, and that's what you get with this Corolla GR. You get a huge wing in the back, but overall, I'm a big fan of this look. Now, what about the insides? Well, I already showed you guys the seats. The rest of the interior is actually very Corolla-like, with a few things upgraded. The digital gauge cluster, yes, that is unique. A very special one designed for the Corolla GR. Maybe used in other Toyotas too, but I like it. It's better than an analog one that you see normally, right? Rather than a small screen, you get a big screen. And if you flip between sport mode and normal mode, you can see the rev gauge change, right? You can see what gear you're in. I mean, there's a few functions in here that's pretty useful. Also, you get a large screen for your infotainment system, which has been upgraded with the latest infotainment software from Toyota. This is a good one. You have a few menu buttons on the left side. The whole thing is very easy to navigate. You got hotspot capability, you got Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, right? And it has software OTA updates. I mean, this is good. I like it. And the overall resolution looks good and it's very responsive. You still have the volume knob. You have a single zone climate control. That's okay. No one's going to complain about not having dual zones in here. Unfortunately, though, in the rear, there are no vents. So that is something that's unfortunate. Rear passengers can share one USB port and one 12V outlet, but no vents back there. Down below, you have wireless charger if you opt for it. It's part of a package. And then you have drive mode, you have traction control, and then you have your knob for changing your power distribution. That's pretty much in here. The whole dash design is very Corolla Cross-like. I'm pretty sure it's the same design, but you know, mixed in with GR cues. For example, the steering wheel, the 6-speed manual, the red stitching, the special seats, right? It definitely stands out. It's not the I would say it's not the best looking hot hatch interior, right? But then again, you know, it works. So as for pricing, there are 3 different trim levels to the brand new Corolla GR. The base is just the core, starts right under $37,000 after destination charges, and there are a few options you can tack on. The step up would be the Circuit Edition, which starts right under $44,000, and then you have the very limited Morizo Edition, and that one is just stripped out, basically a track car, and that one is starting above $51,000. Now, there are a couple of packages that I recommend that this tester car comes with. First is the technology package, which is right around $1,300. You get special JBL speakers, but also heated front seats and heated steering wheel. Highly, highly recommended, unless you live in a warm climate area place. Now, there is also the performance package. This is definitely recommended. You get a Torsen front and rear limited differential. So in case you do want to go on a track, definitely necessary. And also the brake calipers, painted red. It has a nice GR logo on them. They look absolutely stunning, sticking out, popping out from the wheels. So that one is around $1,200 too. So if you add both, around $2,500. And if you add that to the core trim, you're still looking at pretty much a fully loaded Corolla GR for under $40,000. So to conclude, am I a fan of this Toyota Corolla GR? Yes, 100%. In fact, I'm seriously thinking about possibly purchasing this if I can find one at a dealership as just a fun car to drive on the weekends or in the summer. I mean, quite frankly, you could drive this in the winter because it has all-wheel drive as long as you don't have summer tires. But, you know, I'm actually considering getting this because of how good it is. It's not the fastest car, like I said, but it's just pure fun to drive around. And also, it's practical. I have kids, and they could fit back there. That's awesome. I could also not worry about my Costco trips because there's a hatchback there, right? And overall, this is just a blast to drive. It's very comfortable. Visibility, I didn't even talk about visibility is great. Because this is a hatch with a high roof, all the windows everywhere, really, really big. Nice visibility all around. Blind spot monitoring comes with it. Toyota Sense, latest Toyota Sense comes with this Corolla Cross. This is absolutely amazing. And the best part is, I just talked about pricing, right? If you opt for the Core Edition with the 2 packages I talked about, technology and also the performance, you're getting this, everything, for under $40,000. That's a steal in my book. Yes, there are cheaper cars out there, but for what you're getting at $40,000, amazing, amazing. Smash on a like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.